When I say I'm an artist, and people are like, oh, I wish I could be an artist. I'd just love to just paint whatever I felt and just walk around as if I'm just skipping in the fucking fields somewhere, you know, which I do sometimes, but...
Hello, welcome to my studio and welcome to another edition of Art Discussion with me, Adelaide Damoah. So I am an artist and I really enjoy probing the minds of other artists to find out how they sort of overcome the challenges that they have to overcome on a daily basis in order to survive and thrive in the art world. And I like to package that information into these little videos and share those with you in order to hopefully inspire you and hopefully also promote the artist in some way. So today's interview is with an artist who I met at the London Art Fair earlier this year in January, and I kind of bumped into his work by accident. I was walking around the fair and I came upon the Jack House Gallery, and I was so completely blown away by his work that I had to ask him for an interview, and he graciously accepted. His name is Amartey Golding. Now, the work that he had on display at the Jack House Gallery was called Chainmail. It's a series of work. There's a video installation, and then there's also this chainmail piece that he hand constructed that he had installed there with some photographs. I'm not going to describe it here. I will put some links in the description bar below if you want some more information about that particular series, but there are some images that will go through this interview where you can see some of that work as well. I can only describe Amartey as an artist who, like I say, he's a multimedia artist, and he enjoys looking at the contradictions in human beings and kind of putting that into his work and getting people to think and discuss, which I find is very makes him a very interesting and engaging artist. I do have another video where he talks extensively and very excitedly and in a really animated way about his journey as an artist and how he came to this point from sort of leaving Central St Martin's up until the point where he started making work. And that's going to be a separate video. Depending on when you watch this, there will be a link below. If you're watching this quite early on, as in after I've just posted, don't worry, that link is going to be coming up very soon. And this video starts with me asking him, it unusually actually starts straight away with me asking him about the challenges that he's had to face as an artist and how he's overcome them. And I've done it in that way just because where he's talking about his journey is so interesting but quite long, and I didn't want to make this video too long, so there's the explanation. Anyway, I could go on and on about his work, but I think it's best for you to just have a listen to what he had to say in this art discussion. Enjoy. What would you say has been the biggest challenge that you've had to face as an artist since you started working full time?
Oh, the biggest challenge, they all kind of cluster around each other, so there's loads that kind of come under the same umbrella, but it is the I don't want to bring everything back to money, but
That's what it is.
Well, that plays a part in it. One of the big issues in it is money, because you have to spend a lot of time in even getting to a point where you can start making something. You know, there's years that I've been doing this for 10 years now, and even though I was making stuff that I was very happy with before, and I love it because it's very important work, you have to do a lot of working out before you can actually get to a point. And all of those workings out, I was spending it 100%. And that was a lot of time and effort with very little funding, you know. And luckily, some of my stuff would sell, but that doesn't mean you're doing good work just because your work's selling.
Yeah.
So you're there struggling, and you have to rely. It puts pressure on your family, friends, relationships. It all just broke down because of that. With financial stability, you can rest a bit. You get this constant anxiety when you're like, shit. Even when you don't think you're thinking about it, it's there just buzzing, because you don't know when you're next gonna, sometimes not even know when you're eating. You don't know if you're gonna be able to pay rent if you're paying rent. You don't know if you're gonna be able to pay people back.
Yeah.
that have invested into you, and they're beautiful, amazing people that invest in you, and you're like, shit, man, I wanted to pay this back. I didn't even want to borrow it, you know, and now I'm living like some kind of, like a crackhead. No, to fund your, because with a crackhead, you're like, yeah, lend me this money, it'll be all right, you know.
True.
And you're trying to go forward, and with me, the same thing, you know. I'm like, yeah, just give me this money. You're like, it's like an addiction, but it's to yourself, and you're feeling guilty for wanting to work out your creativity and explore yourself as deep as you can. You feel guilty for that, you know. It's that money really adds tension to things, you know. But it doesn't have to be a struggle, you know. To be an artist, I know we see it as that. It doesn't have to be. If there was more funding and understanding, because the funding comes from a lack of understanding of what we do and appreciation, as these kind of, you know, bohemian floating around, I don't really care, dude, you know, behaviour, which a lot of artists, you don't have that. And if you do, philosophers have a similar attitude too, because when you're thinking about things so deep, you have to become slightly detached from the normal ways that people are, that kind of rat racy behaviour. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that you don't care, it's because you're thinking in different ways, and people perceive that as laziness or whatever, you know. And the way that people, also another problem, the struggle that I've had, is the way that people perceive the work that you're doing, because they see it as you wake up, you go to work. Now whatever you do between that 9 to 5 period is work. Then you come home and then it's done. You know it doesn't work that way. You're on it 24/7. Even if I'm watching a film, I'm thinking, right, your mind doesn't stop. It's tiring, it's exhausting. You could be sitting down, just doing actually nothing, but you're working. The way that I see it is that if you keep working at your practice, stripping it down, every time stripping it down, making it more potent, more accurate, more and more and more. Every project you're building on the way that your audience is engaging. There's only so long that that you won't be successful, whatever that comes in. People have to recognise after a while, if you're just focus on that, basically. That's what I need to do. Just focus on making yourself as good as you can be. And once you get to a point which doesn't actually exist, of saying, yeah, I'm the best I can be. Like that is, I can't do any. This is the best artwork that's ever been. If you're at that point and people aren't paying attention, okay, then, and you can honestly say to yourself that you put everything in, okay, then you go and do something else. Then call up your boss after you quit your job and try and get it back after 60 years or something. But that's what I'm telling myself anyway. Make yourself as good as you can, and everything else will come. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. That's the only thing. Otherwise, you'll just start getting angry at the system and pointing blame at everyone else. But you can only work on yourself, man.
Is that institutional validation important to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's important to my relationships. It's not important to me. Importance. Okay, so for me, I'll always do what I'm doing anyway. But if I get institutional validation, it allows all the people that have supported me over the years. It's my way of saying, yeah, you know what, you didn't waste your time, because it's measurable. You know, all the rest you can say it's great work and people love my work, but when an institution does that, it's like official recognition, and that does help. It helps a lot because then you can say, right, it's just measurable. Yeah. But I'll never. That wouldn't make me stop making work. Yeah. But that definitely it helps. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
Is there anything that could make you stop making work?
Oh my God. I think about this all the time, man. There are things that could stop me making work, but I would probably. I haven't had children yet, so maybe something would come that would be a priority over having to find out, to express myself. And I don't. By the way, expressing myself, I don't see that as a selfish thing. I think it's, if every human actually focused on that, I think that's everyone's duty to do that. You've got yourself. How are you not going to learn about yourself? How are you not going to explore what you need to do? Mine just happens to be through, this kind of artistic thing, but it's not restricted to that at all. And I need to understand myself as much as possible, because otherwise you're just doing damage all over the place. Yeah. You don't even realise you're doing damage. Yeah. And that's what my practice is about, understanding myself and the drives of me being a human, whatever that means, And then what process is that? What does that mean? What do we do? What makes us do what we do? You know, that's so we can go. You can put that in your next bit.
No, I was actually going to ask. That was going to be my next question. What is it that keeps you going, keeps driving you forward to keep making the work?
Delusion. I'm deluded. I'm lucky. I'm blessed with that, because when I say delusion, I know I'm talented, and I know I've got a lot to offer. But it's the delusion to be able to say that without actually having done that yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've been making work for 10 years, and I've been having shows where people have been saying it's great, but what I know I can do, I haven't done yet. And you need that. As any kind of creative, you have to know that you can do something that you haven't done yet. That's delusion. Because it's not based in reality. Because you've never done it before, so how can you say you've done it?
Yeah.
But having that belief that I know what I can achieve, that's it, man. Once you've got that, that's the starting point, really. And it's a lack of doubt, because you always have to question yourself and questioning what you're doing. But to doubt that you can do it, it doesn't belong here anyway. I can't have those. They don't come, those thoughts. You know, sometimes you can. You know, you think about it and you're like, am I doing the right thing, or should I be doing this, or is it bringing this and that? But to say that you don't have anything to offer the world, or like, can't, man. You have to be deluded. That's the main thing that's got me through, man. Because I know what I can do. It's just how long it's going to take to do that, and what am I going to lose along the way.
Yeah.
That what do I have to sacrifice? You know, I might even have to sacrifice my mind, my body, my relationships, and then that's where you start having to draw lines to say, right, I might have to force myself to stop. You know, so it's not it's not like putting energy into doing it. I would have to force myself to stop, and every day I would have to be stopping myself from achieving what I know I can, or expressing myself and exploring the world how I need to.
Yeah.
And that would kill me. I know it. And anyone close to me knows that.
Yeah.
You know, if I had to stop to do what I need to do, like creatively, I won't last long. Because then what's the point? I'm living to do what? I don't have to be alive, you know? I don't have to be alive. The world is such an amazing place, and the universe will go on long after I'm dead anyway. And people, if I die, you know, they'll be upset that they'll get over it. So I don't have to be here. I'm only here because I feel alive, and I feel to create things and explore things, and that's what my practice. That's, you know, they call it being an artist, but that's just what I do.
Yeah.
Ever since I can remember, that's what I did.
Yeah.
So if I can't do that, I have to work in where. Do what? You know, just to be able to what? Pay tax, you know, pay rent. No way, doesn't make sense.
What would you say was your biggest achievement today, and how did you achieve it?
Within the arts?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's a hard question. To be honest, you know what? The biggest achievement to date was the affecting people at the art fair. By far, man. Well, actually, that's a lie. Not by far, because there's a lot of different things. But I think the thing that I like so much about it is I really want to engage people. That's the thing. I want people to act viscerally. When I went to the art fair, there were people there that knew art, some people that didn't. It's a good mix of people that I've never met. No reason. It's not my show. They're coming for other things. And the amount of people, like you said, that were coming saying, oh, someone told me I had to come and see this. That was the main group of people. Because it is such a hidden away place.
Yeah.
People had to get there. They had to want to get there. And they did. And they enjoyed it. And there were tears.
Really?
People were crying. Yeah, the people were crying. Not always, but you know, when you make one or two people cry, then that's not a measure of anything. But you know that when that's happening, like something's going on. People that don't know you, they don't need to. It's not like my mum who's proud of me or something. You know, it's like people that I don't know, and other people that really know their stuff coming up and saying, yeah, this was really strong. And then people who don't know anything about art. The amount of people I got that came and said, I hate video art. I never usually watch it. But it just did something to me. I didn't know video art could do that. That's an achievement, man, because the amount of work it took to do that, and aiming to engage in a way, and also not having to compromise, because sometimes when you want to engage, you might compromise on the concept, or sometimes when you've got a really interesting concept, you might compromise on how you do it. You know, maybe it's not so engaging, but it's a good idea. But to try and do both of them, yeah, man, I'm really like happy with how that went. That was a big achievement, yeah.
I thought it was, well, you know what I thought.
Yeah. But you know, that's so, it really, and it's hard to say it, I think as well for artists. It can be hard for us because when we talk positively about our work, we can like come across arrogant or something like that. A lot of the time, you know, because if you're doing something, you have to think it's fucking good, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. It's not easy to do this. So, you know, I wouldn't be working 10 years with no money for something that I didn't really like. Like, I believe in what I can do, and I'm getting better, you know, and it's a craft. But when you get it right, you have to be confident enough to say, yes, that was good, that worked well, like, I'm happy with how that went.
Yeah.
You know? And I am, yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
So what would you say success means to you in the art world?
In the art world, or to me?
To you in relation to the art, your art specifically.
For me, the success that I'm waiting for, or that I'm aiming towards, I have to have a goal that I'm working towards. And for me, what I'm working towards is financial stability, being able to make projects. Now, I'm very ambitious. I want to be able to, I've got fucking books of projects that I need to make, and I need to be able to have the funding to do them, have the people that I can work with to do that, and to make it. Have a studio where I've got infinite space, infinite resources, can make amazing projects and not have to worry about, you know, borrowing money from loved ones, or, you know, not being able to look after people I care about, or, you know, so financial stability, only in that sense, you know, and being able to make the work I want to make. Yeah. Unfortunately, because I'm ambitious, that means that I need a lot of money to do that, so it's not like some, you know, it's not an easy thing to fix, but I can get there. I know I can get there. It's just I need to just be better, which I'll get there in time. And if I don't, then, you know, I tried. Yeah. At least I can say I tried.
Yeah. If you could go back to 2010, right?
You alright?
What advice would you give yourself?
Oh, fuck. Shit. If I went back to 2010, so that's when I'm leaving uni, right? Or just about to leave uni, what advice would I give myself in relation to art?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh man. I'd have to have a good sit down. I'd have to sit down with myself, and I wouldn't change anything, but if I had the opportunity, maybe I would explain things, because I'm very passionate, and a lot of the time I feel like I'm right. Not so much now, because I had to train it and work it out of me, and my art's helped me do that, because I have to just think about everything I'm doing and why. So, but there's been a lot of people that I've hurt because of my just strong-headedness and, you know, and I'm very convincing. I convince myself. And if I convince myself, I can convince people. So, you know, I've put a lot of, like, I've made a lot of people quite distressed and question themselves, which didn't need to happen. Well, maybe it did. It made us all better. But it's caused distress where I think, you know, but that doesn't relate to art. So, but it does. I mean, for me, my art and myself, they're not different. You know? But to keep it more arty, just keep fucking going, man. I mean, I did that, so yeah, I can't really. I'd just say do what you're doing, because I'm happy with where I'm at now, so I can't really. I wouldn't change anything. Yeah, I'm just very happy that I had the determination, like I said, delusion, to keep going. It's been 10 years, and it's not even the beginning. That's the thing that's so depressing. It's not even the beginning. Oh, I'm still a young artist, and I've been doing this for 10 years. But in all honesty, like, my work's getting to a place now where now I'm ready to actually start going out there. So really, it's the beginning still. But advice for myself and advice for anyone else: just keep going, man.
Okay, that was going to be the next question.
Yeah, keep going.
Just keep going.
Yeah, well, you have to be honest to yourself. You can't rest on your laurels, but you wouldn't be anyway. You know, there's personality types, and different people are meant for different things. For some people, it might not be for you. That's fine. There's no glamour in being an artist. There's no need to be an artist. There's no need to be anything else but what you are.
Thanks for joining me for that edition of Art Discussion with Amartey Golding. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please do subscribe to the channel, because by subscribing you get to keep up to date with all the latest interviews like this one. Oh, and question, do you have any burning questions that you would like to ask any artist that I'm going to be interviewing with the interviews that I have coming up? Because if you have, please do put them in the comment section below, and I will endeavour to get your questions along and take them to the next artist that I interview. Anyway, until next time, take care. Bye.